Katrina from the channel LittleBookOwl, and I am your host for day one of the Summer Biannual Bibliothon for 2018. This round of the Biannual Bibliothon is running from the 14th of July until the 20th of July, and in addition to my reading challenge going up today, there are also Instagram challenges and blog challenges, so take a look in the description below for all of the hosts for these challenges so you can go and take a look if you'd like to participate. But we are here for the video challenge, and the challenge that I set for today is creative book recommendations. It is exactly how it sounds. It's finding some fun and interesting ways to recommend books. Some examples could be recommending books for a particular character, or recommending books cosplaying as a character, recommending a book based on a song or a movie that people might like, recommending books in the form of a poem or a song. Honestly, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you wish. You have total creative freedom. The winner of today's challenge will receive a copy of Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. If you are interested in participating in today's challenge and entering the giveaway, the rules are as follows. You need to upload your video challenge and leave a link down below in the comments of this video with the link to your challenge before 12 AM Pacific Standard Time tonight. So that's 18 hours from when this video goes up until entries close. After you've left your comment down below, if you don't actually see it, don't stress. Often comments with links will be going straight to our spam box. We just need to go through and approve all of them, but it will be there, so we will see all of your comments. You need to be subscribed to the Biannual Bibliothon YouTube channel as well as all of the hosts' channels. The links for everything will be in the description below. And you need to either be over 18 years of age, or if you're 13 years of age and over, you must have parental consent because we will require your address in order to send you your prize. So that is how you can enter the giveaway for today's challenge. I hope you guys are excited. I cannot wait to see what you have in store for me. But for now, I'm going to be sharing with you my creative book recommendations. For my recommendations, I decided to take to Google and YouTube. So essentially, I'm going to go to the search bars in both websites and type in a few keywords and then look at the suggested search terms and provide some book recommendations based on those. I thought it would be really interesting to see what a lot of people actually search for when they're looking for book recommendations. And then, you know, I just give the people what they want. I would give them the recommendations they need. I guess without further ado, let's jump in and see what I can recommend today. Let's start with Google, why don't we? And I'll just stick to something simple and do book recommendations. We get 2018, 2017, and Reddit. You know what? I can work with this. I'm going to go with book recommendations 2018 and actually recommend some books that I've really enjoyed that are 2018 releases. First of all, we have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is a West African inspired fantasy novel. There is a lot of magic, loosely inspired on the magic from Avatar: The Last Airbender, so if you're into that, you will really enjoy the magic in here. It is such a rich world with interesting characters, and I just loved learning about the magic system and the history, all to do with the gods and things like that. This was such a fantastic book. Circe by Madeline Miller. So this is a bit of a retelling of the Odyssey. In the Odyssey, there is a very minor character, Circe, who is a witch. She is a sorceress. And in this book, Madeline Miller actually makes Circe the focus. This is her entire life story. If you're into Greek mythology and retellings, this is definitely up your alley. It's about heroes and gods, magic and monsters, and family, and being a woman in a man's world. Lifelike by J. Kristoff. This is set in the future, a post-collapse United States, and there are robots, cyborgs, and androids, and some of the androids look so much like humans, and they are called lifelikes, but they have been outlawed. We follow a girl who is out scavenging one day and actually discovers a lifelike, and it's about what happens after that point, and her sidekicks include a cyborg dog, a little robot called Cricket, who is her conscience, and her best friend Lemon Fresh, who is sassy, hilarious, love Lemon Fresh. The last two books I'm going to be recommending are actually the last books in a couple of series, so not only am I recommending these final books, but also the series as a whole. The first one is Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. The first book is Illuminae, the second book is called Gemina. It's a sci-fi series about a planet that gets attacked by a big corporation and people being on the run, and basically the aftermath of all of this. It is explosive, and Obsidio was an incredibly satisfying conclusion. Lastly, I have Only Human by Sylvain Nouvelle. This is the final book in the Themis Files. This is also a sci-fi series. In the first book, Sleeping Giants, we have young Rose Franklin who falls in a ditch and lands on a giant metallic hand, and it's all about where did this come from, are there more pieces, dun dun dun. The third book did have a bit of a different feel from the first two, which I did enjoy, and the really interesting thing about this one, we have like an ensemble cast. Most of it is set up as interviews or journal entries. It's actually a little bit similar in the format to the Illuminae files, but in that series there is far more different kinds of formats, like instant messages, video transcripts, emails, like typography all around the page and illustrations, things like that. But this one's mostly interviews and journal entries. I do have spoiler-free reviews of Children of Blood and Bone and Obsidio, so if you want to know a little bit more of my thoughts, links are down below. Okay, next I might try searching for what should I read if I liked... Ooh, Ready Player One. For this, I would recommend Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller. It is similar in the fact that it does have a virtual reality game, but I found it a little more immersive in this one. Next is What Should I Read If I Liked Harry Potter? For this, I'm going to recommend Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. I read this when I was younger and absolutely loved it. In this one, we have our main character Meggie, whose father is able to bring stories to life. So essentially, when he reads a book, he's able to bring characters and objects from inside the story into the real world. It is so magical. And lastly, we have What Should I Read If I Liked The Hunger Games? For this, I'm going to say The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. In this world, teenagers have started to manifest abilities. They've got powers. There's different classifications based on how dangerous their powers are. And the government sees them as a threat, so they're basically detaining them in camps. Next, I think I will take to YouTube. Let's see what we've got here. So, book recommendations. Again, for 2018, I did that. There's also book recommendations YA. I'd rather do something a little more specific just because young adult is so general, like there's so many genres within this. But book recommendations fantasy, that I can do. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is going to be a trilogy. The third book hasn't come out yet. We don't even have a publication date yet, which is sad, but it is a fantastic book. It's basically the life story of this man named Kvothe, who is well known throughout the land. When we start the novel, we meet a guy named Kote, who is an innkeeper, and it turns out that this is actually Kvothe, and he's tracked down by this chronicler who would like to tell his life story. And I think this will give you a really good taste of like the kind of man that he is in this world. He's kind of a hero in a way. My name is Kvothe. I have stolen princesses back from sleeping Barrow kings. I burned down the town of Trebon. I have spent the night with Felurian and left with both my sanity and my life. I was expelled from the university at a younger age than most people are allowed in. I tread paths by moonlight that others fear to speak of during day. I have talked to gods, loved women, and written songs that make the minstrels weep. You may have heard of me. So it's basically following his entire life story when he's younger, things going on with his family, to when he enrolls in the university and starts studying magic, and then whatever happens after the fact that we haven't quite got to yet because we'll get the third book sometime. Nevernight by J. Kristoff. If you love assassins, you will love this one. And I've actually heard a lot of people compare this, basically saying if Arya from Game of Thrones had her own story, it would be Nevernight. So Mia Corvier's father was sentenced to death for treason, and Mia decides to take revenge and kill the 3 men responsible for her father's death. And in order to do so, she decides to join a school for assassins. It is glorious, it is bloody, oh it sure is, and quite saucy at times as well. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. If you like lyrical writing, then this will be right up your alley. The writing style is so beautiful, and in my opinion, I didn't feel over the top or anything. I just think it really worked well with the setting, which in itself is beautiful and colourful and so vivid. It's about a librarian named Laszlo Strange who is obsessed with this lost mythical city called Weep. The Assassin's Curse by Cassandra Rose Clark. This is about a young pirate named Anana, and her parents decide to marry her off to another pirate clan, but she's having none of that, so she decides to run away. The other pirate clan then sends an assassin after her. Things don't quite go according to plan for both of them, and somehow they manage to curse themselves, and now they are bound together. So it's about them trying to undo this curse. If you aren't as into high fantasy, then I would recommend Vicious by V.E. Schwab. We follow Victor, who when he was in college, him and his best friend Eli discovered a way to make themselves extraordinary. Extraordinaries are people with supernatural abilities. Fast forward 10 years and leading to the beginning of the novel, Victor has broken out of prison and he's hellbent on seeking revenge, and he's hunting down his ex-best friend Eli. This is probably my favorite book written by VE/Victoria Schwab. I thought it was fantastic. So many interesting characters. It was really cool getting the perspective from an anti-hero, and it was just so fantastic. And the sequel for this one is coming out later this year, so I'm really excited to revisit this one. I have also done reviews for The Name of the Wind, Nevernight, The Assassin's Curse, and Vicious. All of those will be linked down below. I'll do another recommendation for this list. Let's do book recommendations for men. This is an interesting one. I haven't really thought about this before, but the first thing that comes to mind is a book that I have read and enjoyed, and that I have gotten my boyfriend to read, and it is now his favorite book of all time, and that is Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. It's about a man who is depressed, he is suffering from insomnia, and he meets a guy named Tyler Durden, and the two of them start up Fight Club, which is like an underground club. These guys get together, there's like no rules except for rule number 1, which is you don't talk about Fight Club. So those are all of my book recommendations based on Google and YouTube searches. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are excited about today's challenge, and I look forward to seeing all of your entries. Don't forget to leave your links in the comment section below before 12 AM Pacific Standard Time. I cannot wait to see all of your book recommendations, and stay tuned for tomorrow's video challenge soon. Bye!